I'm very happy to have been assigned the Audi S5 coupé today. It is the newest car here, just recently launched to the market. Second generation of the Audi coupé, and I think it is fantastic. It has the 3-litre TFSI engine, V6 turbo. If robot dices are your thing, this car is for you. It's got 260 kilowatts, it's 15 kilowatts more than the old model, and 500 Newton meters. And the great thing is that it comes from low down. So really you can pop it through the gears from the robots and the sound is just fantastic.
This time around I'm fielding the BMW 440i M Sport. The 440i, for those of you who don't know, used to be called the 435i. BMW have renamed a lot of the models in their lineup, but the 440 still has the turbocharged straight-six engine that we've come to know and love in all the 35 models across the range. It just has such a beautiful bellowing sound under hard acceleration, which really gives the car a special character.
I'm driving the Mercedes AMG C43 Coupé. It's the middle range model in the C-Class Coupé lineup, bridging the gap between the regular cars and the fire-breathing C63. It has an output of 270 kilowatts and 520 Newton meters of torque, really ample, all from a bi-turbo V6 engine, which sounds awesome. Compared to the sedan, there are a number of tweaks to the suspension and steering that really give it a more sporting character, but I feel like the ride quality is also superior. It feels pliant in addition to being dynamic. This car is equipped with Mercedes-Benz's 4MATIC all-wheel drive system, so if you're driving it in the rain and have a bit of a heavy right foot, you should be relatively safe. This car around the track, we've driven it at Swartkops and we can vouch for its dynamic abilities. It really holds the line well, and you've got that 4MATIC system pushing you into a corner and pulling you safely out around the other side.
The fact that the S5 comes with Quattro, I think, is great for a driver who thinks he's a racer, because it is quite nanny-ish sometimes. It can make you feel like a better driver than you are, which sometimes for people buying these cars is not such a bad thing. But the Audi is just incredibly stable on the road. It gives you that sense of confidence, and just in terms of the torque vectoring in the wheels and going around corners, it's incredibly stable. It's really enjoyable to drive. Yes, the BMW has rear-wheel drive, and I mean, for a driver who is used to that and who enjoys the feel of a rear-wheel drive car, absolutely then the Beamer is going to win in terms of drive quality.
BMWs in general have a very unique driving character all their own. And for me, on the 4 Series, it's even heightened or even emphasized even more. That rear track definitely gives it extra grip out of corners, but for me, the most incredible thing about this car, it's almost dual personality. If you put it into Eco Plus or into Comfort mode, you have a completely docile, comfortable, compliant car to drive around every day, even on Joburg's bad roads. Shift it into Sport Plus and you get improved responses. The engine makes a more guttural sound. The shifting on the gearbox is much quicker. And you almost feel like a bit of a boy racer. The BMW is unfortunately the oldest car in the group, and as such the styling is perhaps not as fresh as the other two cars. For me, the biggest problem with it is that the front end looks a little bit too much like a 3 Series. I would have liked it to have a little bit more distinction. At the rear, it just looks absolutely beautiful, especially those muscular haunches that also hint at the car's wider track.
Well, in terms of styling, Mercedes-Benz is really on top of their game. The sales figures of their cars really reflect this. They make cars that are attractive and striking and desirable and all the rest. And the C-Class Coupé is no different. It's got a really attractive teardrop-shaped rear, really sleek silhouette. And in Mercedes AMG, guys, of course, it's got a liberal sprinkling of AMG badges in addition to bigger wheels and a more fearsome-looking body kit and a tiny little deck tail at the rear.
The person who's buying a performance coupe is not looking for practicality, certainly. They're also not looking for value for money. I mean, all they want is performance and a car that looks good. So from that perspective, I definitely think the Audi ticks the boxes. As much as I'm not a fan of the front end of the new A5 range, the rear is fantastic, and with the extra bits that the S5 has with its diffuser and the tail, the wing, little wing, I think it looks great.
The BMW does boast a very competitive list price. Obviously, you can ramp that up quite quickly when you start ticking the options list. Our car, for instance, comes with over 100,000 rands worth of options, but it is the cheapest car here. Without trying to make excuses for the BMW, I think it does fall short in certain aspects compared to the other two, but there is something pure about the essence of the car and about the driving experience. And yes, to a lot of people that might not be important, but if you enjoy driving, then I think the BMW is going to give you the most pleasure behind the wheel.
When you look at the price list for the Mercedes Amg C43 range, it's almost shocking because you consider that 5 years ago in 2012, around 900,000 Rand was what you would have paid for the full-on C63 version of the previous generation of the car. But if you've got that kind of money, I think this car will tick all the boxes. It's got the prestige, it's got the sound, and it delivers all those thrills you want from a coupe. And of course, it's got a Mercedes-Benz badge on the front, which counts for a lot.
If it was down to styling, I would definitely go with the Mercedes-Benz. I think they've hit the nail on the head with how it looks in terms of a coupe. Unfortunately, I know too many people who've had problems with their Mercedes, and I can't recommend a Mercedes to anyone at this stage. The BMW, I think you're a fan of Beamer or you aren't a fan of Beamer. And it is getting a little, it's the oldest car here, not to say that it's old, but it is older. I think the interior doesn't live up to either the Audi or the Merc. And yeah, I don't know, for me, I would rather pick an Audi over a BMW any day. The Audi has a fantastic interior, a fantastic sound. If you like the styling, you're not going to be disappointed with the car.